Okay, so yesterday I made a salad that I should have shown you, but I didn't. I ate it instead. And it was so good, and I just wanted to share what I did yesterday and then kind of give you guys a little alternate idea for what I'm doing tonight. So yesterday I took one of my gorgeous giant bok choys and I cut it the same way I did when I cooked it, and I cleaned it, and I added it to my salad raw, and I just did chopped romaine, and I chopped up the bok, and I used leftover of that fresh Caesar that I made, and I mixed it with more vinegar and olive oil, and I made like a Caesar vinaigrette, and I didn't even put anything else on it. I think I shaved Parmesan. It was to die for. So if you're unsure if you're into bok choy cooked, try it as a salad green. It's got just such a great flavor and such a great crunch because these end parts of the leaf are very tender, but the whiter parts have like a great snap, but they're not stringy. I don't know. I just think it's such a great vegetable. But tonight I'm making a Faro salad. So I bought this today in Stop and Shop. We had a great Faro salad when we were out having a quick lunch, me and my daughter. One time when we were shopping in Short Hills at like the little coffee shop in the middle, they had like no good coffee, but they had great lunch actually. And she's been asking me to make a Faro salad since, and I just, every time I went to the store, I just forgot to buy Faro. So I remembered today. So it's 2.5 cups of water per cup of dry Faro. So I'm gonna get that cooking, and then the plan is to use my very last Aura apple. So I have these delicious Backyard Farms cocktail tomatoes. You could see the size. They're, here's an almost done one. They're just a great little size. Nick's been cutting them and making a little tomato and feta salad with his breakfast every morning. He's really enjoying that. So he's gonna be pissed when he realizes that I'm using the last of the tomatoes for tonight. I'm gonna have the Faro. I'm gonna use spinach. I only have standard spinach. I wish I had baby, but we make do. I'm not gonna cook the spinach. I'm gonna put the spinach in, mix it with the Faro while the Faro is hot, so it's gonna wilt the spinach. I have pickled red onions that I made after we ate this other Faro salad because it had pickled onions and Francesca loved it. I'm gonna chop up my cocktail tomatoes. I'm gonna add, so the spinach is gonna wilt, so I'm gonna add bok choy as my crunchier green. I'm going to dice up this apple. I mean, any apple would do. I also have a pear, and I was considering using that, but I think we're gonna go with the apple because I want the crunch. And between the dressing from the pickled onions, I think I'm gonna, and the sweetness from the apple, I think I'm gonna do like a lemon vinaigrette, a lemon dressing, like oil, salt, lemon, I think. And then I'll probably go through my fridge and throw in whatever other veggie we have. I know I have one zucchini left. Zucchini is great in a salad raw. So I'll probably dice that and add that in, and stay tuned. Okay, so I have my 2.5 cups of water in my little pot. coming to a boil. I measured out 1 cup. One of my besties gave me these measuring cups like when I first got my first apartment. And then look at me, nearly 18 years later, I still use them. I measured out 1 cup of Faro. I have it in my little strainer. I'm gonna rinse that. Which I'm not even sure that rinsing it really does much. But that's what they say, and I'm a rule follower. I'll rinse that and set it here. Now I just cut a butternut squash, so everything's orange, including my hands, but we're gonna go with it. First, I'm gonna cut the ends off of my bok so that I can get these in a strainer and rinse. And then I'm gonna grab my zucchini. Which usually when I cook everything all at once. So the fact that I have 1 random zucchini left. I actually cooked a zucchini yesterday, and then I don't know why I only made 1. And then when I was setting up dinner, I was like, oh crap, that's not enough. So I made the other one and left 1, which, but that comes in handy tonight. So I'm just going to slice these. There's probably an easier way to do this, but I'm not a chef. And then I'm just gonna make little stacks. This is like so bizarre, I know, but this is just what works for me. I don't even know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm just stacking up the little coins in little piles. Like that. And then I'm just gonna take a pile and slice it, turn it, and cube it. And I'm like so not a perfectionist in anything that I do. So that works for me. Like if Nick was here, he'd be like, no, they're not even. But he just has to deal with it. So if you haven't used zucchini in a salad, raw, cold, you're missing out. My parents did a cooking class one time on one of their many adventures in Italy, and they came home and they were like, we need to eat this salad all the time. And we probably only made that salad like once or twice since then, but I'm sure if I brought it up, they'd be like, oh, that was so good. But it was just shaved zucchini, like shaved the long way into like long strips, like long, flat, wide strips. And just with, I don't even know if anything was in it other than zucchini. I mean, probably, but that's all I can think of right now. And it was just with a lemon dressing, just fresh lemon, salt, olive oil. There was probably a tomato component. Although my dad doesn't eat raw tomatoes, so maybe there wasn't. But it was so good. So I have my diced zucchini. We're gonna get that into a bowl and get the bok washed, and then I'll be back. So here's my washed bok, and it might be a little too much now looking at the size of my salad. I mean, Francesca can take it to school for lunch, but today's Thursday, so. I make little piles because that's what I do apparently when I cut. And I'm gonna cut it long ways so that there's little bite-sized pieces. And then I'm gonna chop it. So I have this going on. I figure if I keep doing videos, I'll get better at making videos. Fingers crossed. Okay, so I've never made this salad before, but I think it's gonna be really good. I'm a big fan of salads, is what it comes down to. So we have some crunch. Yeah, we need more than that. More crunch. Because at the end of the day, the zucchini's tender. It's not really a crunch, it's like a bite. But love me a good crunch. I made 1 cup of Faro. I don't know, I might not even need the spinach, because there's a lot in this bowl already. And these were the Aura apples that we had last week. This is the very last one. They were good though. I would buy them again. I know we had some requests for more. I'm just making some nice little slices. And then I'm gonna do the same thing and give them more of a bite size. My knives need to be sharpened. So everything I do is like real rough. But that's just my style. So any apple will do. I'd say like a Gala or a Honeycrisp or something would work just fine. My water's boiling. I hear it. My water's boiling. The Faro went in. I'm gonna give her a turn. And I'm cooking it like rice. I'm gonna let that come back to a boil. And then I'm gonna turn it down and cover it. I think that's oh, you don't even need to let it come. It's back to a boil anyway. Reduce heat, cover. Alexa, set a timer for 20 minutes.
Good afternoon, Jessica. 20 minutes, starting now.
We're gonna let that go, and I'll be back. Okay, for this segment of the video, I took out the sound because my parents showed up and totally didn't know how to be quiet. I wound up not using the spinach, not using the tomatoes, because my dad, again, doesn't like raw tomatoes. Not that he even ate the salad, so I could have, but whatever. And initially when I made the dressing and served the salad to my youngest, I forgot to use the Faro because I was distracted and it's a weeknight and you know how that goes. But I just did exactly what I said for dressing, only I added a little bit of Dijon mustard. I used a whole lemon. I used a little white wine vinegar. I added Dijon mustard and honey, just a bit, just for some extra oomph for my dressing. And then I tossed that, I mixed it. Like I said, I kept it simple with just the apples, the bok, and the zucchini. It was so delicious. I also want to mention that I didn't really show exactly how to do the Faro. You saw when I dropped it into the boiling water. From there, I let it cook for about 25 minutes, which was 5 minutes longer than my initial timer. And then I turned it off and I let it sit to soak up the rest of the water. By the time I was ready, the water was all soaked up and the Faro was perfect. You see me here looking for something that I knew the dressing needed. I went with honey and a little bit of Dijon mustard just to give it that consistency and zing that I was looking for. Don't mind me cleaning up by eating all the rogue pieces. By the time I was done, I really didn't think about making a beauty shot of my salad, but let me tell you, it was so good and I had it over salmon.